In this bath, Meowth whips it out and goos all over the Scyther. They're all sticky.
Oh, and I'm the one who's gross for asking if Scyther has a sword penis. What's up, you Meowth-worshipping wannabes? It's To Kill A Delibird, the Pokemon Rewatch anime podcast where we check out Pokemon the anime, rewatch it, I guess. I don't know. I'm Graham. I have seen some Pokemon in the past, but I'm in catching up into it. So with me on this journey, I have a Pokemon master. His name is Kellan. How you doing, Kellan?
I'm lovely.
And he's always lovely. That's the thing. And how can you not be lovely when we're in the Orange Islands?
And when you've got two excellent episodes to talk about today.
Oh yeah, these are fun ones, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Today we're looking at episode 98, Meowth Rules, or in Japanese, Lord Niarth's Island? And episode 99, Tracey Gets Bugged, or in Japanese, The Strike Soldier's Pride.
Oh, The Strike Soldier. What a cool name.
Well, it's beta. Scyther's beta name was actually going to be Strike, but with a Y instead of I. And
that kind of sounds like Scyther was like going through a midlife crisis and joined the military, and that was like a nickname he was telling people was his actual name.
And its Japanese name is translates to Strike. So
okay, very cool.
So
very
it works out.
Well, Kellan, I may not know a lot about Pokemon, but
no, you do not.
I learned something new this week that is blowing my mind.
Oh,
this is gonna make me look very new to the fandom. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But sorry to shout out another podcast this early on in a giant one, but I do need to cite my source. The Trash Taste podcast, big anime podcast, this week did a highlight on conspiracy theories, and they brought up this one about Pokemon, where people have this theory that Ash is in a coma the whole time.
Jesus.
That Ash is a real-world boy, and he's imagining the Pokemon world. How cool is that?
And you've heard about this? Is the first time you're hearing about this?
Yeah, the first time, like a few days ago.
Jesus Christ. That is like the oldest. That is the oldest theory in the book. It's older than time in memoriam.
Is it older than you?
Yes, probably. Well, when did the anime come out? 98?
Like
older than me.
7 in Japan, yeah.
Yeah, older than me.
Wow. It's as old as the anime, you think?
Probably. I mean...
97 in Japan. Wow, that's crazy. Okay.
People will theorize about anything, regardless of how much material there is to theorize about.
Yeah, there isn't a whole lot of credible evidence, but at the same time, I think it's a cool flavor for explaining some of the things that we've found weird while watching. Okay? Number one, the fact that sometimes there are real life animals in the backgrounds. That's kind of weird, right? But it's like, you could say it's Ash like blending the real world and the Pokemon world together.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Point number two. Get this. How weird is it that these like 10-year-olds are off like on an adventure? Well, it's because this is like an idealized world where 10-year-olds get to explore. So he's like, he can't do that. He's in a coma. He's like this repressed, sick kid, and he's projecting an idealized world. How cool is that?
I don't know. I think it's just world building in an attempt to relate to the target audience.
Okay, number three. I'm going to ignore that. Pretty good counterpoint for convenience. Okay, number 3. Get this. You know how we've like pointed out things like how they will reference, the 4th of July or like a whole bunch of European shit, right? We were like the Florence Nightingale. How does that get in there? This is like stuff that he hears in his hospital room. Like they've like left CNN on, you know, and he like hears things. They like left the History Channel on in his room. And so he heard like a King Henry VIII documentary playing.
Nah, I liked the theory we had from last week or a couple weeks ago that all the real world references that they make are myths in the Pokemon world, and like our world is the fantasy to their world. I liked that theory.
You like
that was better? A good one.
That like that like they have like a book that's like the mythological world of Europe.
Yeah, Minnesota is like a Narnia to them.
Sorry, Minnesota. That's fucking hilarious. Let's picture the faraway land of Minnesota where they have a giant mall and Prince.
Are you done with that stupid theory, or do you have more points?
That's about it. But I'm convinced.
Okay, cool. The other popular theory is when Ash sees Ho-Oh in the first episode.
Yep.
Ho-Oh is said to grant eternal happiness to anyone who sees it. And so the theory is that Ash's form of eternal happiness is forever being 10 years old on a Pokemon journey. But that doesn't explain why no one else around him ages. So that's also kind of a dumb theory.
Yeah, that doesn't explain why everyone else around him ages, unless they're saying that like Ho-Oh has captured him in this like weird time capsule world that Ho's like spun off a new world for him where nothing ages, like a timeless time lapse of itself.
Yeah. Most Pokemon theories don't hold a lot of water. The one I like is that Ditto is a failed clone of Mew.
Oh, interesting.
I like that one.
Why?
Because, let's see if I can remember these. Ditto and Mew are the only two Pokemon that can naturally learn Transform.
Oh,
For one. Ditto is naturally found originally in Cinnabar Mansion, which is where Mew was cloned and where Mewtwo was born.
Mm-hmm.
And also can be found in the Cerulean Cave, where Mewtwo can be found.
Maybe, like, okay, Ditto's like this weird blob. Maybe Ditto is like Mew's shit. It's like a Mew pie.
The other points are that, like, they share a similar color. Their shinies are the same color. Their weight is the same between Ditto and Mew.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I like that one. It's never been, like, confirmed or anything, but I think there's merit, and I think it's a fun theory as well. Makes sense.
Well, you know, I'm all for failed clones of Mew.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see where I'm
Good
going
segue.
with this?
Great segue.
Oh, man. Kellan loves to compliment our segueing. We're really good segueyers.
It's great. Segueing is great, especially when you mention it, because that definitely doesn't ruin the segue.
Yeah, I think that our comedy has become point things out until you can escape them. We're really on the nose. One day we'll learn subtlety. I don't know.
Quickly, I do want to correct myself on one thing with that Ditto. In Red and Blue, Ditto is available on routes 13, 14, 15, 23, and Cerulean Cave, not Pokemon Mansion. But in Yellow, Ditto is only available in Pokemon Mansion and Cerulean Cave.
And Yellow is
the anime one.
The anime one. Gotcha. I was gonna say it was like post Mew blowing things up, but that's Kanto and Gold and Silver,
Kanto
right?
No, that's Kanto in general.
Oh,
the Cinnabar Mansion is destroyed because Mewtwo blew it up.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's all of them. Okay.
That's all of them, yeah. Anyway, continue with your segue.
Yeah, we got another skit this week. You'll notice sometimes we do lists, sometimes we do skits. We like to kick off the episode with something
weird.
What would you describe these as, Kellan? Like profoundly stupid.
Fucking strange.
And now for something a little different, Monty Python. So, Kellan, I believe you're going to do the narrator, and yes. I will voice Guess Who's Back. It's Mew-three. The episode is Nicer. Mew-three strikes back and returns again, I guess.
Again, not again.
Oh, we should remind people in case they're catching who is Mew-three. So, quick synopsis. Mew-three is another failed clone of Mew who was in the lab where Mewtwo was born. However, instead of being like the ultimate fighting psychic form, he was born as the ultimate accountant. He did Team Rocket's accountancy until he left, after some creative differences, found himself working for, Charles Goodshow at the Pokemon League, and found that he was also the world's greatest administrator. Now, during that time, he was dabbling in statistics and found he could not predict the outcome of any of Ash's matches, okay? So now he has devoted himself on the path to become the ultimate statistical life form by being able to predict the outcomes of ashketchum, the unpredictable. And that is the last time we saw him.
So shall we jump into this one?
Let's go.
All right. At the top of the mountain.
I've done it. This is the greatest discovery of all time. The ultimate statistical model for ice-related Pokemon competitions. An ancient society that understood snowy mountains like nobody else ever could. They didn't even have physical form. They're just math. They were just a bunch of equations that floated around in the snow. You couldn't even see them unless you had at least a math or a stats PhD. But I have found their ultimate treasure. Buried deep in the mountains is their ultimate gift to the universe. Nicer. Next level ice regression. ICE then stands for Improvement Combat Estimator, but it also stands for regular old ice. They even left tons of formal documentation. I love documentation. Ash, you will never escape my predictions ever again.
During the events of Naval Maneuver, Mew-three is lurking in caves at the top of the mountain. He sees Ash and Danny reach the top of the mountain. Mew-three mutters to himself.
At last, Ash, you have arrived. Unbeknownst to you, I have been following you around the Orange Islands, gathering data on how you behave, and trying to predict what you will do next. My failure at the Pokemon League set me into a dark depression, but I know what needs to be done. I was the ultimate administrator, and I have been reborn as the ultimate statistician. I can predict every battle outcome, every evolution, every trainer decision in the Pokemon world. I would make so much money at the horse races. But money is not what drives me. Despite my perfection, there has been one variable that eludes me. Ashketchum. Today that will all change. Despite being the perfect statistician, when faced with failure, even the perfect can become more perfect. More perfecter is now a technical term, and I will publish countless papers about it. Trust me, whomever may be listening, through whatever media, wherever fine podcasts are downloaded, and on Hydroleech YouTube channel, I know what I'm talking about. I have the tool I need to become more perfecter and rise above the pitfall that has disgraced me. Ashketchum, the nicer model, will not make me more nicer at all, but more perfecter, as this event will end in my salvation and your disgrace. The nicer model allows me to predict the outcome of any ice-themed Pokemon contest, and I have used it to perfectly explain and forecast the happenings of the event you are about to experience. And Ash, the outcome is cold and merciless. Ash, today you will lose. The model tells me so. Danny will first win the first event by freezing the geyser with his Nidoqueen quicker than your Lapras can handle. Danny will say, full power, and you will not. The second event will go to you, but it doesn't matter. I implemented a genius technique to predict the second event, the lazy Charizard control variable. My genius has never had a chance to flex quite like this, and it feels incredible. The final event, Ash, is where everything for you will come crumbling down. Danny will take the lead and not back down. You can do nothing against his bobsledding prowess. Your bobsled will diminish into a mere spinning disc, a proverbial plate to eat your cold dish off of that I'm about to serve. Revenge. Yes, Ash, today you lose and there is nothing you can do about it.
Did you hear something? Is someone brooding up there? That's Ash. That must be Misty and Tracey. This is Danny. I assure you, I am the only one on this weird island. I hang out on that boat just to see if someone is nearby. It is quite the life. Okay, let's start the battle. Ash and Danny begin the gym contest. The first match goes exactly as Mew-three predicted. The second match follows the patterns perfectly. The final match begins. Mew-three's excitement as he watches from the trees is causing him to nearly explode. If he was not a perfect being and instead was capable of urinating in his pants and was a creature that wore pants, he would indeed urinate in them from excitement. Danny is far ahead in the bobsled race. The nicer prediction is coming true. Crash! The snow where Danny's racing ahead has collapsed beneath him.
What? What is happening? Is this an event I didn't anticipate? That is impossible.
Team Rocket appears and Ash stops to help Danny. Ash and Danny fend off Team Rocket with a barrage of snowballs and somehow flinging Electrode off of a seesaw to explode in Team Rocket's balloon. Ash and Danny continue the race.
I can't believe it. Something happened that I did not anticipate. Ah! Deep breaths, Mew-three, deep breaths. You can't control everything, but I can at least predict everything. Calm down, Mew-three. Hope is not lost. This event must not affect the outcome. It must be noise that doesn't impact the model. That's it. Phew. Come on, Mew-three. Be reasonable. Collect more data. Let's see. Let's see. Danny is ahead. Danny's doing great. He can do this. Ash, you will lose.
Danny is near the finish line. Ash has spun off into the trees and is nowhere to be seen. Then, Ash flies above the tree line and soars ahead of Danny.
Ah!
Ash has won! Mew-three is having a meltdown, but is high enough on the mountain still that nobody hears him, and they wouldn't really care anyway.
This can't be happening. I am the more perfecter statistician life form. Nicer cannot be wrong. How? It all comes down to the event that was not predicted. Team Rocket. The model fell apart when Team Rocket arrived. That's it! Ash is not the only challenging statistical anomaly. For reasons I missed before, he is linked with another data point. Team Rocket. And not the Team Rocket I used to work for. I mean these weird Team Rocket wannabes that follow Ash and the gang around. They don't fit. They don't fit at all. Ash, our feud will have to take a pause. Team Rocket, next time we meet, I will be able to incorporate you into my statistics. Mark my words.
End scene.
Whew, beautiful.
Snaps all around.
Snaps all around.
I like that Mew-three is getting progressively more long-winded.
Yeah, he's really full of himself. I don't
know.
He's not the kind of guy you'd want to hang out with.
No, God, no. I would.
Would you rather hang out with Mew-2 or Mew-3?
Mewtwo, because he is a changed Mon.
Yeah. Post-movie
movie.
Mewtwo.
Yeah.
But pre-movie Mewtwo, he might
probably
kill you.
Mew-three.
So,
yeah, Mewtwo will murder you in broad daylight.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to the actual Pokemon?
I would love to move on. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So let's jump into episode 98, Meowth Rules. And we open this episode something a little different. It's nighttime.
Yeah, we're not on Lapras again.
And we're opening on Team Rocket.
Ooh.
Wild.
Spoilers, but this might be a Team Rocket-centric episode.
A little bit. Just a little bit, yeah. Jesse and James are trying to fix the Magikarp sub, and Meowth has found some clams. He's the happiest cat in the world.
Free clams for dinner.
And he calls James Jimmy again.
I love it. I love when he says Jimmy.
Why is this just a thing all of a sudden?
Right, so James is asking Meowth to use Payday, right? So to make us money, and that's where Meowth says, I'd love to, Jimmy, but I just can't learn Payday. I spent all of my energy learning to talk. Now, you want to give me the lowdown on what Payday's all about, Kellan?
Payday is pretty, the anime adaptation of Payday is pretty faithful to the games, actually. It does damage and then scatters money on the ground that you pick up after the battle.
Okay, so presumably it does money by, like the Meowth, summons coins or something?
Yeah.
Because they're almost making it sound like Meowth could just do it and then you would have money.
Yeah, I mean that's the implication.
Okay, cool. So cats can create coins.
Yeah. Which is a wonder how this economy functions at all.
Are cats a legal mint? Like they're a federal exchange?
Yeah, they can just create money out of thin air. So I don't know how it hasn't crashed their
without
economy.
Inflating the value.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Maybe there's a limit or something.
Yeah, it's like after the great stock market crash of the 20s, the Kanto government had to put out a rule that Meowths can only use Payday 3 times per week or something.
Or that all non-Meowth money is marked with something, and it's like you can only have so many Meowth bucks at a time.
Oh,
or you can only pay with so many Meowth bucks at a time. Yeah, but also, how did they just think of Payday now? It's been 98 episodes. That's the obvious thing.
I kind of wonder if this would be a conversation that they have every fucking night. And Meowth is like, I've heard about this one, Jimmy. I hear about this every fucking night. I chose speech over Payday. Okay,
I cannot learn it. Jesus Christ!
Must I stand in the shadow of a common cat? Meowths aren't rare though. Also, if this Payday scheme was so important, they could get a Meowth.
They're also not the only Pokemon that can learn Payday.
Ooh, interesting. Is there a TM or something?
They're the only ones that can learn it via level up, but there was a TM in Gens 1, 7, and 8 that multiple Pokemon can learn.
So they should get to stealing a TM.
Yeah, and then a couple breeding ones that you can, and then some events. But yeah, Meowth's the only one that can learn it naturally.
Okay. Well, the next kind of important thing is that while this is happening, the sound of coins are jingling, and they're coming from James. Now, this isn't money, though, he turns out. He's like, I don't have any money. Because they're kind of mad. They're like, are you holding money from us? This is his favorite limited edition vintage bottle caps.
Beautiful continuity, because in the episode Bad to the Bone, right before the Indigoleague, we see the junk contents of their balloon, and James has a bottle cap collection in there.
Oh, that's nice.
Love it.
I forgot that. That's a good touch.
But also, when Jessie is shaking James down for this money, she picks him up and spins him around a bunch in what I thought was a weirdly smooth animation.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. That was Sakuga. And then, throughout these episodes, there's actually a lot of stills and not that interesting animation in parts. So it's like, why'd they choose to animate the fuck out of that?
Yeah, it was
they
wild.
do that sometimes. They like have these beautiful animations for like a weird gag.
They'll just animate the weirdest things. So yeah, it's bottle cap, blah blah blah. Then they see the gang on the scene in the background and want to go after them. So we head over to the gang now. Finally seeing them for the first time today. They can't find an island to crash on for the night when suddenly Team Rocket comes up on them. Prepare for nighttime trouble. Make it after dark double.
And that's the only difference, I believe. Then it just goes into the regular chant.
Yeah, and then they do blast off at the speed of light, 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 prepare to fight, fight, fight. They've been doing that light, 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 fight, fight, fight a lot lately. I don't know why that's suddenly a thing.
Because there's 3 of them, and they just realized that.
But they start to sink immediately.
Yeah, because their sub's still broken.
Yeah, and Ash is like, I almost hate to do this, but then he sends out Squirtle, who water guns Jesse and James blasting off again, and then Meowth in a separate blasting off again. But he goes farther than Jesse and James. They watch him fly off
Meowth
from
gets
the water.
Hit point blank. Like he's like, oh, that was close, but I'm safe. Turns around and Squirtle's right there.
Headshot. And he goes flying like across the night sky past the moon. Very E.T. on the bike.
Very E.T. on the bike, where Haunter and Ghastly on their pirate ship went last episode.
So then on an island, some other island, we see a group of people in cat ears wearing cat noses.
It's a furry convention.
Yeah, it's a furry convention. They're waiting for the ancient prophecy to be fulfilled, where a Meowth will bestow great fortunes onto them. And they're bowing in front of a giant golden Meowth statue.
Ancestors foretold of the night of a bone-white moon, when great Meowth of bounty will bestow great wealth upon us. So I gotta ask, Kellan, how many fucking prophecies are there in the Pokemon universe?
Too many.
Every 3 episodes, they're like, the ancient prophecy.
The prophecy.
And they're like weirdly specific too, and about like everything. The ancient prophecy where the 10-year-old with the jean jacket will come and his Squirtle will chew upon some food.
The ancient prophecy foretold the day when Ash's mom went out to the garden and pulled up a 7-centimeter potato plant that held 4 potatoes exactly, measuring 2.2 pounds altogether, that she would take those potatoes and peel them and boil them and make them into a nice mashed potato that would give Mr. Mime superpowers beyond that of anything you've ever seen in your life.
That's right, folks. This is the Mr. Mime of prophecies foretold.
It's incredible. That's the most real prophecy that there's ever been in Pokemon. I didn't totally just make it up on the spot.
That was well done, though.
Yes, I was struggling. So, but yeah, you're right. There's a lot of fucking prophecies.
There's so many. Like
most franchises
wild.
get one. Pokemon gets like a few,
and
a few every now and then.
In my head, are usually used as like sort of like a bigger picture sort of foreshadowing. Like, let's say maybe there's like a big bad for a season and they have some prophecy around the hero like failing at some point, and then it comes true like in the end of Act 2, and then they kind of have to overcome it in Act 3 sort of thing. But yeah, this is like every day there's another prophecy. And I like the idea, Kellan, really into that there's even prophecies about vegetables. The prophecy has foretold that on Tuesdays at Safeway, carrots will be slightly cheaper.
Next episode, we're going to see the gang out on Lapras, and they'll pick up a message in the bottle, and they'll see that they have to go save a Scyther, and they'll be like, oh my god, it's a prophecy.
The ancient prophecy. The ancient prophecy that was written a night ago.
With the red crayon.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So Meowth's flying through the air still. And he's talking about how he should get frequent flyer miles. And
lands on the island. Crashes.
On the island. Yeah.
And then the people come, the cultists come and carry him to their statue in front of a giant fruit platter.
Yeah. And the big statue, which he's saying, oh, that's a major Meowth.
And he's very confused by all this. He's like, I don't have cash, but I can pay you back for all this on Tuesday.
I read on Wikipedia that is a Popeye the Sailor Man reference. Did you know that? I did not know that.
I've never seen an episode of Popeye.
I
So I wouldn't know.
Probably have, and I do like a lot of old cartoons, but I don't really remember Popeye. There was a live action with Robin Williams. Did you know that?
I knew that. I've not seen it.
Yeah.
But I will watch it at some point because it's Robin Williams.
Yeah,
I will watch anything with Robin Williams.
Well, you still got to watch The Birdcage, probably. Did you watch The Birdcage?
Do not know. Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
Oh, no,
Actually,
I told you that in one episode to watch.
Yeah, I've heard of
Birdcage.
it. Never mind.
Okay.
No, I have not.
Okay, it's good.
So, but the people are shocked that he can talk. This is definitely the Meowth of Bounty.
Whoa. And there's this one, like, of the cultists, there's one, like, much older person who's like sort of like a bit of a priest, I guess. Like, he seems to be, when they're talking about the prophecy and they want something explained, like, he's sort of the ground truther. And he says, well, the Meowth of Bounty has special powers, so,
he probably talks. Yeah. It's probably fine. But Meowth's self-confidence is like totally shot right now. He's so
he
down
thinks
on
he's
himself.
In trouble. Yeah.
He thinks they're trying to get rid of him, but they bow before him as the Meowth of Bounty. And now he's in. He's like, fuck yeah. Let's do this.
Yeah, if I don't let the cat out of the bag, I could have a great thing going here.
But so his first order of business to these cultists is that he needs meatballs.
100 of them.
Same, Meowth. Same.
I mean, he's a smart cat. He says that the meatballs are whisker looking good, which is a Kentucky Fried Chicken reference. And so that, I mean, Ash in the coma has a KFC ad playing on CNN. Just saying.
Jesus Christ.
Well, how else would Meowth know that reference?
Oh, maybe they go to the local KFC.
KFC has franchised everywhere at this point, including Kanto and the Orange Islands.
Exactly.
Did you know
Kanto
that
fried chicken
KFC in Kanto is open on Christmas Day?
It's very popular right here.
Yeah.
So they even have dancers for Meowth.
Yeah, furry dancers.
The entertainment for him. He sings atop the cliff with his little ukulele. That was very cute.
Landing here was such a blessing. All day long I'm happinessing.
But he wishes he could share his happiness with his friends, Jesse and James. But on the horizon, we see the Twerps sailing in.
Oh, they'll ruin everything, Meow.
They'll ruin everything. His happiness will be shattered if they let it slip.
Lots of anime sweat drops here. He's sweating.
And the cult spots the gang sailing in. Meowth warns them, those kids and that Pikachu are very, very dangerous. They gotta be thrown off this island, kicked out.
Meowth's got his own little shrine clothing too now. He's blending in.
With like a big stick fan or something.
Yeah.
Something to direct people. So they bring out
like to direct air traffic.
Yeah. So they bring out the Meowth of Bounty Guard, which is the giant gold Meowth statue, but putting people inside because apparently it's mechanical.
Yeah, that's the other thing that Pokemon does a lot. Everything is a prophecy and everything turns into a mech.
Which is the coolest thing.
Yeah, for overdone tropes,
we love
I'm a
mechs.
Big supporter of the second one. Big supporter.
What about prophecies about mechs?
That will be the best. When they're like, oh, the ancient prophecy that Gundam Wing is really good, and then Seed is okay, and then Seed Destiny kind of lost me, and I haven't watched Gundam since.
So the gang's on the island now when the Meowth of Bounty Guard comes up on them and tries to crush them with its paw. Pikachu tries to thunderbolt it, it does nothing, and its eyes glows and chases it off of a cliff. Mission accomplished.
Oh.
That's almost about as much as we'll see of the gang this episode.
They're
not in this one at all.
Tracey does have a goofy detective line for me. He goes, "That's over 20 feet tall. Too big to be a real Meowth."
Really?
Yeah, you're right about that one, Tracey.
I had no idea. I thought all Meowth was about that 15 feet or so.
Yeah,
maybe
at least
this was an anomaly.
Feet. This was just a bit of a stretcher. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a lot of calcium. Strong bones.
Drink your milk. Kids.
Yeah,
no,
that's what calcium does.
Do what you want.
The cult tells Meowth that they got rid of the kids, but two strangers have washed up on shore. It's Jesse and James. He claims to have never met them before. He doesn't know who these people are. They'll only bring unhappiness and very bad stuff to this island. Throw them away.
He's really
Throw them in the ocean.
Back since like 2 minutes ago. He was missing them. But that was a quick twist.
I really feel like Meowth, if you thought about it for a second, You get to Jesse and James, you tell them the situation, they're gonna be on board.
Yeah, I feel like he did a mistake. I agree.
Like, you can share this
he could have manipulated the cult and bonded with his friends.
Yeah. 2 birds.
You
Come
can
on.
have
2
it all,
Pidgey.
Meowth.
Easy.
2 Pidgeys with 1 scam.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Meowth is really struggling with this decision, though. He's like holding back tears. He's crying a bit.
Oh, yeah.
And Jesse and James question why these people are listening to Meowth, so the cult explains it. Meowth of Bounty. The prophecy has foretold it.
Mm-hmm.
And they get thrown out. But they sneak back on.
Yeah,
pretty quickly.
In bad camouflage, like usual.
Yep. Some green paper on some sticks.
Yep.
So they sneak back on the island.
School of a design.
Yeah. So they're spying on Meowth. He's being fed when it's time for the bounty ceremony, where the Meowth of Bounty will use payday, to bring oodles and oodles of cash to the people on the island.
So things are crashing around a little bit. That's a stressor, right?
Mm-hmm. It's very, very coincidental that we learned that Meowth can't learn payday early in the episode. Crazy coincidence there, right?
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah,
Not at all just setting the tone for the episode, yeah.
How writing goes.
Yeah.
Definitely not how you just write stories. Yeah.
That's right.
So he tries to get away. He tries to dip out of there, but the guard grabs him, tries to shake coins out of him. He spills it all. He can't use payday. He doesn't know how. And the cult is pissed off. They're incensed. This can't be the Meowth of Bounty.
Oh, no. Yeah, they're like, are you serious? Meowth goes dead serious.
Oh. So the old guy reasons, the Meowth of Bounty hasn't used payday in such a long time, so it's probably just forgotten it. What it needs to get payday back is some battle experience.
Yeah, and this priest figure, man, people like him, we've all encountered them in our life, and people like him drive me crazy, The fact that, like, when new information comes to them, they'll still dig their heels in,
Just completely in denial.
Completely in denial, yeah.
Will not change their worldview when presented with new information.
No open-mindedness, no learning. It's purely agenda.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Kitchen Nightmares lately, and those are the worst people on that show.
Are there a lot of myopic, agenda-driven politicers on Kitchen Nightmares?
God. Chefs who can't take an ounce of criticism.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Like when he shows them the books and it's like, you're bleeding money, and they're like, no, I'm brilliant, like that kind of thing.
Well, they know they're bleeding money, but they don't know why. Their food is amazing, right? But it's terrible.
Gotcha.
There was one episode where this older guy, his food was bad and not good, and everyone was like, your food has gone downhill. And Gordon asks him, are you willing to change? And he just looks at Gordon and goes, no. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. What do you expect to happen now?
Yeah, like, what's the point of having him there then?
Yeah. They got him turned around, but it was, good God, stubborn people.
Yeah.
The worst.
Yeah.
That said, we will never change anything about this podcast because I don't want to.
Even if you tell us good points. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
We probably would. But
yeah. So Meowth keeps telling them, you're not gonna get payday out of me. It's not possible.
Right.
But the old guy just thinks it's a test. The Meowth of Bounty is testing us. He wants to see our resolve, our perseverance.
Oh, God, I hate this guy. Right, so they're going to take him to the stadium to battle for experience. James, still listening, goes, can't teach an old cat type new tricks.
Cat type is not a thing in the games, James.
Oh, there you go. Remember that if we draw. That's not how the game works.
That's just a wording. It's whatever. I don't really care. Bulbapedia mentions it as an error. I don't really count it as an error. I don't think they're talking elemental type.
I didn't know you could say the words I don't care when regarding Pokemon errors.
I do wish they had just made it cat-like instead of cat-type.
Right.
Because then there would be no gray area or anything. But I think they're just talking, he's like a cat. That's whatever.
Yeah, clearly.
I'm not going to waste mental energy on that one. I'll save it for other things.
Wow, picking your battles. Very mature.
Like accents and slashes.
Oh, check out Kellan's YouTube video on slashes. It's very good.
3 minutes straight of me yelling about
I got some people on the algorithm, too. Nice to see.
It's great, yeah. So the cult takes Meowth to a stadium where there are a lot more cultists, where he has to face off against a rampaging Nidoking immediately.
The only thing Meowth wants to use is the exit. Oh,
hey.
The Nidoking's chasing Meowth just like
Yeah.
around the arena in like a circle.
Yeah, and then he gets like super exhausted and stuff. I don't remember. Does the Nidoking like hit him like really hard or something? I can't remember.
Not really. Like he's
No.
basically just chasing him. And when the Meowth starts getting worn out, the cultists are all in there looking for coins, which there are none.
Maybe he's learned payday. Let's go look. This
maybe he shit them out while he's running in fear.
So they're like, okay, well that didn't work. Obviously the solution is more battling. Right. So go Onyx, who breaks out of his containment unit, like breaks through the bars, and launches Meowth in the air, slams him to the ground very violently.
Yeah, followed by a rap. He gets him, all cozied up in an Onyx burrito.
Jesse and James watching from the stands now. They're
They're disguised as cultists. They got some furry outfits off of Amazon.
They're flashing back to the good times with Meowth, and also some times where they almost got killed.
I like how a good amount of the flashbacks are them getting like zapped together and like exploded together.
That's most of their life.
So. Oh, exactly. Remember all the good times, Meowth, where we got fried?
They're upset with him, but he's still their friend, so they want to help him out. And then Meowth is crying in the stadium when suddenly coins start falling onto the stadium.
Oh, where did this come from? Meowth doesn't even get it. He's like, did I learn payday?
Where are these coming from? And we get the reveal. It's just Jesse frisbeeing nickels into the arena.
Yes. Now she's poor, but she does have nickels.
It's funny. James doesn't have any money. All he has is his favorite bottle cap.
And he made a big deal about them at the start. So this I actually felt more than the nickels.
Mm-hmm. So it's almost like it's a setup for the story. Wow. Crazy.
Are stories just manipulations for our emotions?
Oh my God, it's almost like it is.
Oh.
It's almost like all forms of media want you to feel a certain way. Oh, crazy.
Don't listen, sheeple. You're better than that.
What? Nuts.
Don't laugh at our jokes.
So, but yeah, at this point with the bottle cap, I know this is a kid's show, but every once in a while, I feel smart for remembering things.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, he's gonna do the bottle cap. It's gonna be the bottle cap from the start of the episode. Whoa.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I'm so smart.
Yeah. You are smart.
I am. I have a degree. I definitely earned that degree.
So Jesse and James, also being kind of smart, I guess, here, they leave because they're like, well, Meowth's going to be happier here than losing with us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was feeling
take
things
off.
at this point, man.
Yeah. We love Team Rocket.
Yeah.
We don't want to see them separated. So the cult thanks Meowth for all of the riches he gave them, all of those nickels totaling probably like $5.
Yeah, probably.
And they ask him to rule over them when he notices James's favorite bottle cap in the pile of money.
In the pile, and he's like, oh my God, it all clicks.
He takes it. He runs off to go find them. He chases after them. They notice it, but they start to run. They hide behind a big rock, and they overhear him be very sad and tell himself that he wishes he could make things right with them.
He's basically monologuing while they're listening behind a rock.
Yeah.
He's sorry for what they did. He doesn't bring anyone happiness. He's supposed to be a great cat, but he's just a big rat.
Oh, Meowth, don't say that kind of stuff about
Don't say
yourself.
it, Meowth. You're beautiful.
You're better than that. So the cult chased him as well. They're begging him to come back to them. Mm-hmm. But he gives this whole speech about happiness and how he's only really happy if he's with his friends.
Yeah.
And so Jesse and James step out from the rock and do a really sappy friendship version of the motto.
And it kicks ass.
It's great.
Do you have it or do you want me?
I've got it.
Oh, go ahead.
You do Jesse, I'll do James.
Okay, who starts?
We'll start with the priest. Jesse starts after the priest.
Okay.
Great one, our people need you here.
Protect us both from desperation.
No, you skipped 2 lines.
Oh, what happens first?
Great one, our people need you here. Jesse goes, I'm the one who needs you too. James, make it double, we both need you.
Oh, I did miss that. Protect us both from desperation.
You unite us all in jubilation.
Help chase away our loneliness.
You're a mess, but we love you nevertheless.
Jesse.
James.
Team Rocket's friendship never ends.
So let's set sail on our ship of friends.
Beautiful. And then they land on the sub.
It was great. I loved it.
And they forgive Meowth, but they also charge him interest.
Yeah, they're like, you owe us.
Yeah.
We love you, but you owe us.
We are
Bad.
thieves.
Yeah. So yeah, they welcome him back. Now the cult is all alone. No more Meowth for you guys.
Poor cult.
Back to the gang finally at the end of the episode here. They're still confused about why they couldn't get on that island.
They're like, what was our involvement in this episode anyways?
Misty's like, maybe it's just an island for cat-type Pokemon. That wording comes back.
Yeah.
Tracey thinks maybe he was guarding an ancient civilization, and Ash was like, yeah, like that could happen. As if he hasn't seen ancient civilizations before.
Like multiple?
Yeah.
With protectors.
Yeah, the golden butt plug, anybody? Remember that episode?
That was pretty funny. We all remember the golden butt plug. That isn't a phrase that leaves your mind.
No. So back to Team Rocket. Jesse and James are still, they still want to figure out how to make Meowth learn Payday. And they're like, maybe more fighting will make you learn Payday.
Maybe that stupid priest had a point.
I think they just wanted to get their licks in for him abandoning them.
Oh, totally. They're like, we love you, but we're going to beat the fuck out of you now.
Just once. We got to get it out of our systems. But that is the episode. It's a good episode. I liked that one.
Very nice. I like it too. Love Team Rocket. They make me feel things. Okay, literary hour. This is where we compare it to sort of literature, movies, that sort of thing. I've got a few kind of things bouncing around my head. One is the part in Star Wars Return of the Jedi where C-3PO appears to the Ewoks, and they think that he is a god because he's golden and can speak their language. And so they like praise him as a god. And then C-3PO helps like free their friends because he's like pretending to be the god of the Ewoks. And that kind of felt like this, right? Like a similar situation where like, oh, Meowth appears, they think he's their god. And this led me to, okay, so there's by the sci-fi author Arthur C. Clarke, there's this pretty famous quote: any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Now, you might say, where's the technology in this episode besides the mech? But kind of treating Meowth's speech as the technology, right? It's like an innovation that he only possesses, and that did come from like a place of logic and reasoning. But because the people can't understand it, they sort of break it into something they can understand, which is, magic. They see Meowth as a god. So I think it kind of fits into that sort of thing. And then the last thing that I thought of, my mind was going everywhere because this is nothing to do with the other points. It's all about the bottle caps, okay?
Fallout.
Yeah, I guess so, actually. Yeah, Fallout, where the bottle caps are a currency, right? In Fallout, is that it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, it is from it's like a pretty famous Sesame Street Christmas special. Are you with me?
Oh, is it the one with all of the Muppet characters in Fraggle Rock?
I don't know if this is the same episode. No, I think it's specifically, I'm thinking about, it's with Bert and Ernie. So Bert has a paperclip collection, and Ernie has a rubber ducky, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they each want to get each other like a gift, but they have no money. So Bert sells his paperclip collection to get Ernie like a holder for his rubber ducky or something like that. But Ernie sells his rubber ducky to get Bert something nice to display his paperclip collection in. So they've both sacrificed something for the other, which sort of like at the end they're like, oh, that's funny. But then like the person they sold them to is like so, moved that he just like gives it all back. But the bottle cap thing made me think of that because this was like James being selfless, right?
Mm-hmm.
To Meowth. And he wasn't expecting to get anything back. He was like making a sacrifice. Now, there wasn't really, for that trope to be fully fulfilled, it has to go two ways, and that didn't quite happen. There's actually a name for this trope. It's called the Gift of the Magi plot. I don't know where the name comes from, but yeah, go ahead.
Uncle Jesse, Full House, wants to sell his guitar, I believe, to pay for the wedding that was signed by Elvis. The guitar, not the wedding. There you go.
And then what happens?
I don't remember. It's been a bit. I think Becky doesn't let him sell the guitar.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah, that's similar, I think. I think that this Sesame Street plot that I'm bringing up is like actually pretty well known, and that like writers like would put it in things. But I'm not 100% sure, since you don't know about it seems. So I don't know. I could be wrong.
He wanted to sell it for the engagement ring. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Looking at it. I don't believe he does, though. I need to rewatch that again then. Ugh, I have to rewatch Full House for like the 5th time. God damn it. I'm fine with that.
It's an
All right, should we rate
interesting
this episode?
choice, Kellan. Okay.
It's a comfort show. Shut up.
That's fine.
I love it.
Yeah. I always wish that there was like an alternate Full House that was the exact same, except Bob Saget made the kinds of jokes that he makes in his stand-up. Where he's like, isn't it crazy when you're on coke and a hooker is choking you with your own belt? and then what the uncle's like, cut it out, you know? Oh fuck. Okay.
Baby Michelle face palms. Ah, Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Not again. Ugh. How rude. All right, shall we rate this one?
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so this is the plastic ping pong picture of objective rankings. We're going to pull 2 categories at random, rank the episode we just recapped based on those criteria. What do we got, Kellan?
First category will be, fun one. Whatever will constitute giving this episode a 10.
Oh, that's our favorite. This is where we get to invent a category, and then that will become part of it. Yeah,
I think
cults.
it's literal cult behavior.
Cults. Like cult appearance. Yeah.
I'm putting it as literal cult behavior.
Literal cult behavior.
Just for the words. Just for the words. Extra words. So
I like that because that's like as specific to give it a 10, but without getting more specific. Because we could be like, cults that also have sex while dressed as cats. But no, let's leave it as literal cult behavior.
We could also do giant golden Pokemon statue. But I think literal cult behavior is more fun.
That is more fun, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Category number 2. That's my favorite category. That one's so much fun. Category number 2 is anime sweat drops.
Ooh, okay. Was it this one or the next one that's really good?
There are some good ones in the next one, but you noted
episode
some on this one.
I noted as being like the best anime sweat drop episode. So
but you noted a good amount on this one, I think, right? You said?
I did, yeah. Like, Meowth is actually doing them a lot. So when the cult sees that he can talk, Meowth has it. Also, like, Meowth when he encounters Team Rocket, or no, when he encounters the gang, there's like a bunch of them. Like so Meowth himself has probably like 7. Like, he has a lot.
Damn.
Yeah. He's just doing them the whole episode. He's very stressed with all of this responsibility. That's pretty much it, though. It's all Meowth. So
well, I think these ones and like this one and like Characters Falling are kind of a combination of quality and quantity. For me, at least. I think like a couple good ones will jump it up, but having a lot will also jump it up. So this is like 7.5.
I'm gonna go with 6.75, and here's
6.75.
why. Here's why. Your reasoning is impeccable. It is approaching 7 territory. However, with one character, that means that the stress is lopsided, and I like to see stress being evenly distributed for maximum sweat drop shenanigans.
Yes.
So, I have to dock it slightly, bringing us to 6.75.
So that gives Anime Sweat Drop 7.125 with a 10 averages for Meowth Rules 8.5625.
That's a very high score. This is a good episode, but yeah, this is a good episode.
It is our best episode in the Orange Island so far.
All right,
let's move on to episode 99, Tracey Gets Bugged. Whoa.
In Japanese, Strike Soldier Kicks Ass. No, that's not
that's what it is. Oh, there was... Okay, that reminds me. I wanted to talk about one other thing I know I found in the Bulbapedia page for Meowth Rules.
Oh, go ahead.
Is that in the Dutch dub, Meowth says shit.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god, why didn't I learn about this sooner? Meowth swearing is like my favorite thing.
I'll read you the bit from Bulbapedia. Remarkably, in the Dutch dub, Meowth says the English swear word shit in the sentence. I'm gonna totally butcher this, but bear with me here. Ik zit in die shit en ik kan Jesse and James niet eens die shit given. This was during the scene where he talks to himself thinking he's in some kind of trouble with the locals. Translated into English, the phrase says, I am in deep shit and I can't even blame it on Jesse and James.
Oh my god. He says the English swear word shit in this sentence. That's crazy. Maybe it's not a swear in Dutch. I don't know.
I don't know. But it's funny.
Ik
I
zit
like
in
it.
die shit. En ik kan Jesse en James niet eens de schuld geven. That's just like
Incredible.
fucked up English. Like it's like
That's so funny.
it's like you look at it and you're like, it kind of looks like English, but like all fucking weird.
Yeah.
I wonder
Alright,
if Dutch people think the same thing when they see English. They're
Oh,
like, that looks
probably.
like Dutch, but like a little fucked.
It's probably what every language looks at English and thinks. Because English is
No,
a
no.
fucking horrible
I'm
language.
specifically talking about how similar they are. Is
Yeah.
what I mean.
Still, everyone looks at English and thinks, man, they
No,
fucked that
especially
one up.
people learning English say that all
Yeah.
the time. They're
That's
like,
the hardest one to
they're
learn.
like, none of these rules make any sense. They're like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
Anyway, let's move on to episode 99. Tracey Gets Bugged. So we start this episode off. They're on the ocean again. Next stop is
back to simpler times. I could not take a change.
Next stop on the Orange Island tour is Morcon Island, which I did not look, or sorry, Murcott Island, which I did not look up. Is that an orange?
I don't know.
It is. It's a fruit.
Of course. What kind of fruit?
Marketed as honey tangerine, is a Tangor or Mandarin sweet orange hybrid.
Oh, these look delicious.
They do.
Yeah, wow.
I want them.
I've never heard of it. I wonder where it's from.
But it's another
Florida.
orange.
It says it's a Floridian orange variety.
Of course.
Nice.
Damn you, Florida.
Florida with your oranges and your Disney World and your alligators and your GTA 6 trailer.
So they're on the island. They're on Murcott Island. Tracey lets Venonat and Meryl out. He's pumped for this one.
Oh, God, is he ever losing it?
He's excited. Then a Beedrill flies by. Misty starts freaking out. Her bug fear is finally back.
Her bug fear is back, and Tracey and Ash's disdain, or no, what would be the word? Lack of total empathy is also back.
Yeah, this island, Murcott Island, is famous for having tons of bug Pokemon. And Ash tells Tracey, hey, Misty's afraid of bugs. And he's like, when it comes to bugs, Misty's a chicken. Ha!
Yeah, Tracey's a total dick here. Like,
yeah.
We've spoken up about this before, but there's a difference between like teasing someone for something they can control, but like phobias like feel horrible. Like this is just asshole behavior.
Yeah. So he has Meryl and Venonat detect something. They look past the bush. There's a bunch of Caterpie in a big group. Ash wants to catch another, but Misty drags him off. But
I do like how he's reminiscing here. He goes, I haven't caught a Caterpie in a long time. That's an interesting statement. He caught one Caterpie.
Yeah.
And
he says it like it's a regular thing.
Ago. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Misty's dragging him off, but there's something bigger and badder behind another bush. It's a pincer.
Have we seen this thing before?
I want to say yes.
Yeah, we must have, because you said we've done all the non-legendaries, so.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, I can't remember, has it been like in a featured capacity?
No, I don't think so. Though something vaguely is reminiscent about a pincer like breaking his horn sometime.
The Samurai Kid had one.
Oh, yeah.
Right at the start of the series.
There you go, right at the start. Does he break his horn? Yeah, on the Metapod, right?
His Metapod hardens, yeah. So, yeah, we have seen a pincer. Look at us remembering.
Kinda. It took a while, but yeah.
Go us.
And pincer is freaky
terrifying.
Looking enough to run.
Yeah.
It makes those Caterpies look like kittens.
Giant horns, weird mouth.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those
things.
weird, like, vertically open mouths kind of
Very
thing.
strange.
Yeah.
Very strange. So, Ash and Tracey are talking about Meryl and Venonat and how Meryl can hear really well, and Venonat has radar eyes, Go-Go Gadget, and how they make a really good team, because together they can both hear and see pretty much everything. And Misty is like, at least they're not bug type. Misty.
I've been waiting ever since I watched these episodes for you to comment on this. I was like, oh, Kellan's gonna scream.
Venonat is literally part bug.
And fairly buggish looking. Like it has big bee eyes. Like big fly eyes. Like it's clearly a bug. And I kind of wonder if at that point Tracey and Ash are like, don't say anything. Pikachu, don't give it up. Don't tell her.
But that's so weird. That leads to questions, because like Misty is just blanket afraid of anything that has a bug typing, regardless of if they look like bugs, and not.
I don't think
things
she
that
knows
look like
what
bugs.
she is. I think she's having a moment I think it's also kind of like it's purely psychological, right? So it's like
Mhm.
really just like what she's feeling in the moment. And it kind of reminds me of like, you know how kids will sometimes decide that they don't like certain foods,
Yes.
but they don't really have a good grip on their own tastes yet. So they'll do things like complain nonstop about how they'll never eat onions. Onions are disgusting. And then like one day they're just chowing down on onion rings and the whole family's like,
Mhm.
don't tell them. Just let them eat the meal. Don't tell them.
I don't know if you remember this, but this is a pretty widely known story in the family. But when I was little, I was confident that I didn't like potatoes, but I loved fries.
Potatoes.
I was fine with fries. I liked
Okay.
fries until my cousin on the other side told me that French fries are made out of potatoes.
And
And
then
from
you
that moment,
refuse to eat fries.
well, I don't like fries then,
That's
even though I
exactly what
did.
I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Kids do
yeah.
shit like that. Isn't that crazy?
Kids are stupid.
Yeah. So I think in that
Anyway,
moment, if they had told her that Venonat was bug type, she would have lost it.
absolutely. Yeah, that's the story about me that no one shuts up about. The story about you that no one shuts up about
Oh
is how you
God.
ate steak on your first birthday.
Oh, I don't remember this at all.
Well, you were one,
Have I
so
ever? No, have I heard this story?
you
I thought this
have
was going to
to.
be something worse.
Anytime a baby is around and eats like a solid food, someone in the family's like, "Oh, did you know that Graham had steak on his first birthday?"
Like Professor Oak style.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, neat. I forgot about that.
There's some TCAD lore for you guys out there.
Yeah, I really love red meat.
Yeah.
Red-blooded American baby.
So yeah, when we first met Tracey and Venonat, and at the start of this episode, when Venonat was out and Misty talked about bugs, I was like, "This doesn't make any sense. Why is Misty not afraid of this?" Then Misty said, "At least Venonat's not a bug type," and it all made sense. And at the same time, doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Like they just didn't realize Venonat was a bug type.
No.
They thought it was just poison, I guess. So
He's just like a furry
wild.
dude. He's just like,
Yeah.
it's just like, we don't like to put labels on Venonat. Like, Venonat is whatever it wants to be.
I would love a Venonat. He does look very soft and fuzzy.
Yeah, he's buggish, but not like, he's not
Gross
scary
buggish.
looking. Yeah.
Oh, very cute. So anyway,
Venomoth is a little freaky looking.
yeah, no, I don't want Venomoth in my life. No,
Yeah.
I don't want moths around. So moving on from that. So they, the two of them, as a good team, sense something. We look in. There's a wounded Scyther just lying on the ground.
Ooh. Yeah, we've met Scyther before. He's the
Yeah.
sword arms man.
Freaky as shit.
But
Very
cool.
dangerous.
Fucking
But
cool.
very cool. Scyther was one of the Pokemon when I was little and playing Pokemon Red that I liked the most, but never used because it's hard to find.
Yeah.
I think it's just a Safari Zone exclusive. I never found it, but I loved its cry and how it looked in Red and Blue. That you know how on the opening screen to Red and Blue, the Pokemon sprites will scroll by until you press start to start the game.
Mhm.
There were times where I boot up the game and I would wait for Scyther to show up so I could press start and hear Scyther's cry.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. And then eventually you get to use a Scyther in Gen 1 and it's not great.
Yeah, you've talked before about these, like, there are so many cool Pokemon that just, but they also don't min-max any kind of strategy. Like, there's a lot that you just kind of, like, pass on.
Yeah, Scyther severely suffers from bad moveset syndrome where it just doesn't get good moves,
Right.
at least originally. Anyway. Yeah, there's a wounded Scyther on the ground. Tracey tries to treat it with a potion, but Scyther ain't having it. He doesn't want it. Ash tries to catch it so they can take it to a center, but it deflects the ball. It doesn't want help.
No, very proud, wounded Scyther
Mhm.
here. Pikachu's gonna fight it, but Tracy's
Yeah.
like, well, you'll fucking kill it because it's hurt.
But he has an idea. He has Venonat use sleep powder, puts it right to sleep, and then Tracey puts it in a ball. We're off to the
Ooh.
center.
So first and only time that we see Tracy capturing a Pokemon, I learned. Interesting.
Yep, this is that's it for Tracey catching things. But I mean, he's also only around for like 30 episodes. So,
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, we see Team Rocket flying overhead. The Beedrill from before, I'm assuming, comes up, pops their balloon. They don't go blasting off again. Instead, they fall to the ground. To which they say that was certainly a gigantic letdown. Boom.
It was indeed. Also, if I had a nickel for every time a Beedrill bursts their balloon, I'd have at least like, what, 20 cents, 15 cents? Something like
Yeah.
that.
So they're confronted by the group. You would still not have as much money as the cult from the last episode, though.
Oh, those
not
rich
enough nickels.
bastards.
Yeah, $5. Crazy. So they're confronted by a group of Scyther. One of them has a mark on its head, and then cut to white. Ooh, what happened there? Crazy.
We don't know.
So we're at the center. Scyther's getting bandaged up. It's fucking pissed.
Yeah.
It's looking at Tracey with like a death stare. Like how the Salamanca twin in the hospital looked at Walter White when he saw him. It's like the same kind of thing. Except Scyther didn't crawl out of bed and like rip the IV out of his arm.
Oh, this Scyther is looking like a frat, like a gym bro at a club who just saw someone hit on his girl. He is staring him down and will not let up.
And so Chansey takes Scyther to recovery. Joy remarks that the leader finally lost a battle to stay leader of the swarm.
This Joy knows a lot about the local Scyther gang.
Well, she lives there, right there, so I'm assuming most people know.
It's like maybe they send out a newsletter every week. This is the community newsletter, just writing to know that this Scyther with a scar has now defeated this other Scyther. Big times are a-changing.
I feel bad for whatever Scyther has to type that up. Imagine typing with those giant blades. Horrible.
I want to be an author so bad. But my fate.
I can barely type and my arms just cut the paper.
Oh, that's so sad. He goes on a quest to befriend a Mankey to type for him. And that's how this Scyther became the first New York Times best-selling author. Inspirations can happen.
No, he commissions cut-proof gloves. Custom-sized cut-proof gloves.
Giant cut-proof gloves.
Then he can write.
Wrap over the swords.
Yeah, that have graphite in the tip. So it's a pencil
beautiful.
Too. Yeah, there you go. So
you can also use them as a seismograph during an earthquake.
Ah, yes. So Joy explains the situation to the gang. This is an older Scyther. The age suggests it could only be injured like this by another Scyther. A younger Scyther will typically challenge the leader of the swarm, and sometimes speed and power will overcome experience. And when a leader is defeated, it is basically abandoned by the swarm. It can no longer be a part of it, and will go to live on its own.
I find this backstory fascinating. It's brutal, but realistic in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of reminds you that, Pokemon are animals, and they have things that might seem as really harsh to others. But that's
just the way nature works, baby.
That's the way nature works, exactly.
And so they call Oak. Oak congratulates Tracey on capturing a Scyther, but Tracey doesn't really count it as a capture because it was injured. It's not really fair, and he just wanted to take care of it. Oak theorizes that Scyther's pride is probably hurt because of the loss, and they need to help Scyther regain its confidence.
Yeah, Oak is like, this Scyther has erectile dysfunction, but luckily, I have a small pill that you can give it.
That is not fan art that I want to see.
Oh, no. Well, what if it's like Scyther?
Not putting that one on the list.
What if it's like Scyther in a stereotypical Viagra commercial, though, where him and the female Scyther are just like laughing randomly, like while they're cooking or something, you know?
Are you or a loved one suffering from erectile dysfunction? Scyther!
I hope his dick doesn't have a sword, too.
Oh, God. Moving on.
Hey, it's late in the episode.
Rocket.
I can say what I want.
Back to Team Rocket. They've gotten away from the Scyther, but just by what's that? Jessie, your hair.
Oh, just by a hair. Got him.
And yeah, she's had most of her hair cut off. She's on a short do now.
Jessie with short hair doesn't look bad.
Doesn't look bad.
It's a little rough,
it.
But like if it was cleaned up, she could own it.
But like, how much maintenance goes into that giant curl of a hair?
Yeah, she must be spending a fortune on hairspray.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So Meowth now wants to catch all the Scyther. Jessie is pissed at the Scyther, so she wants to go kill them. She's ready to charge head first, but they tell her, you don't do that. You could end up with a crew cut, which is Jessie's worst nightmare.
Oh. Also doesn't look that bad with a crew cut.
It was a funny gag.
It was a funny gag, yeah.
So back at the center, Tracey talks to Scyther about how he couldn't just, let him lay there hurt. And Ash suggests Scyther could go back to challenge the leader when he gets better.
Good detective moment. He goes, he could challenge the leader to a battle. And Tracey goes, you mean a rematch? Yeah, that's the rephrasing. Thank you,
Wow,
Tracy.
crazy. Wild.
Thank you, Tracy, for owning a thesaurus.
And so Team Rocket now are watching the Scyther take a bath, which is very creepy. Team Rocket, why are you
Yeah,
peeping
Team
like
Rocket, the creepy, the whole swarm is having like a big group bath.
that? Just him and his homies, taking a bath together.
Yeah, just chilling at the onsen.
Yeah.
It's fine. Team Rocket's a little creepy for peeping.
Yeah, and then Meowth whips out a rocket launcher.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, from absolutely nowhere. So in this bath, Meowth whips it out and goos all over the Scyther. They're all sticky.
Oh, and I'm the one who's gross for asking if Scyther has a sword penis. You just implied
that was funny.
You just made a joke that might make a listener think of a Meowth Onsen Bukkake Scyther scene.
Well, don't say it like that.
It's late in the episode. I can say what I want.
The way I said it was perfectly accurate to the episode.
That's true.
So yeah, this rocket sprays a bunch of sticky goo all over them, and then they hit him with a net. They got him. Ooh, okay.
Okay.
So then Scyther back in the
hospital.
center can sense something is wrong.
My people need me.
Yeah, they're taking the bandages off. He's healing nicely, but then Scyther flies off. They're like, no, Scyther, you're too weak. You're too hurt. And he falls to the ground, and Tracey runs up to him. He's, please don't do this. You're too weak. And he flies back off again. And the gang go after him. Ash is like, I don't want to miss this. Instead of being like, Scyther's not in the shape to battle.
Yeah, I caught that too. I was like, get your priorities straight. I don't know. It was kind of funny.
So back to Team Rocket, doing a lot of back and forth here. They've got the Scyther trapped in a big net, hanging from a tree now.
Jesse's still so mad. She's poking them.
I've been robbed of my crown of glory, my resplendent hair. James goes, resplendent? Meowth says, must mean big.
That's a good joke.
Yeah. And she's turned full manic at this point. She has lost it. Like the creepy, sinister, smiling faces we get.
Just one bad day, right, wild. Jesse?
Yeah, she wants payback on these things when our Scyther slashes whoosh, through the net,
boom,
releases the other Scyther. The gang runs up on them and they laugh at Jesse's haircut.
Oh, they lose it.
And we get another beautiful variation on the motto.
We do.
Do you have the whole thing again?
Well, I think so. I wrote it down. Let's see what I missed, though.
All right, you started off.
Insult my hair, prepare for trouble.
It used to be there, but now it's stubble.
To protect my head from humiliation.
Too bad her hair went on vacation.
My gorgeous hair was my one true love.
They went together like hand in glove.
Jesse.
James.
Now my hair's short, but it won't be for long.
And it won't stop our Jesse from doing what's wrong. And then Meowth jumps in and just goes, Harry!
He kind of phoned it in.
Yeah.
But I think that's funny.
Gives very poesy vibes, When he just
he's like, I guess I gotta say something.
Just jumps in with one word that's vaguely related.
Hair.
Yeah. So they Ash here is like, whoa. He's kind of stunned by their improv skills.
Yeah.
Kind of impressed.
Yeah. He goes, how did they come up with that stuff?
Yeah.
Well, they took that one course by correspondence that taught them stage placement, stage movement. That's it. So
that's one of my favorite lines. They plan to make the Scyther Team Rocket's cutting edge front fighting force. So they have wheezing smokescreen, but our Scyther starts spinning around a bit. He's doing swords dance, and it blows the smokescreen away and increases his attack.
Yeah, that's not how the game works.
Right? It doesn't work like a whirlwind, but it does increase attack power.
Yeah, I knew about the latter.
Yeah.
What is a sword dance, anyways? Like, I never, even as a kid, I didn't get that. I was like, you dance with swords, and it doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah,
sounds dangerous.
So. Yeah, it doesn't work like a whirlwind. I kind of thought they were going for razor wind here until they said swords dance, but I don't know. It's just physics of the twirling, so I'm willing to let it slide.
So it's the dancing. It's a ballerina move.
So all of Meowth translates what Scyther is saying here. He's saying that, the Scyther may not be their leader anymore, but he's not going to let them take the swarm away. And so Team Rocket prepare all of their Pokemon to fight, all of them.
Oh, wow.
And Pikachu's ready to jump into battle here. Scyther tells him
Yeah,
no.
Pikachu's gonna help. Nah, this Scyther's got to do this by himself.
Yeah, and so Scyther tells Pikachu that, and then Ash is like, Pikachu, go into battle. Not getting the fucking message here at all.
No.
Tracy
So
tells him
to
stop being such a little brat about always battling and let other people have the spotlight for a change. Christ, Ash.
And with Tracy's strong words, the music heats up.
This is awesome.
Yeah, so Team
This
Rocket
whole next
does have
sequence
like all
kicks
their Pokemon
ass.
out, right?
Yeah,
Or
and so
most of them,
Tracy, yeah, all of them. Weezing, Arbok, Victory Bell, and Lickitung are
Ooh,
all
and
out.
Meowth is in the battle.
And Meowth. And then Tracy's going to take the helm here on this battle, commanding Scyther. This is like Tracy's first big moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I love it. Fantastic. So the sweet electric guitar gym theme kicks in. One of them, there's two variants on it. This is one of them. Meowth launches in to fight this thing. Scyther swipes him away. Whoosh.
Boom.
And then Lickitung and Victory Bell run at it from two different directions. And Scyther jumps out of the way, and Lickitung falls into Victory Bell's mouth.
Yeah, we finally see Victory Bell eating more people. He's kind of got a taste for more than just James.
While Scyther's in the air, Arbok jumps up from below. Tracy commands a double team. Arbok jumps and lunges into one of the clones. Misses, falls to the ground in some beautiful facial expression animations.
Oh, very expressive.
Popped eyes. Love it.
Is, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we've got the Victory Bell using Razor Leaf, but Scyther just chops them up with their leaves. Yeah.
Yeah, but before Victory Bell even launches it, Tracy's like, watch out. Victory Bell's going for a Razor Leaf. Get ready.
Yeah.
And so after he slashes the leaves away, Tracy explains he knew it was a Razor Leaf because of the way the Victory Bell was moving. That's what happens when you're a Pokemon watcher.
When you're creepy like me, you can predict the future. That's what Mew-three really wanted to do.
Yeah. So Jesse commands Arbok to go for a poison needle attack, which is not a thing. It's poison sting.
Yeah.
But poison needle is the direct translation of the Japanese name.
Gotcha.
So that's just a translation error.
Scyther dodges that.
And Arbok lets another one loose, but the new Scyther leader jumps in and blocks it out.
We can tell who he is because he's got a scar on his
Got that big mark on his head, yeah. And so all of the Team Rocket Pokemon go in for the attack, but this is so cool. The leader launches our Scyther in the air, and our Scyther goes for some slash attacks. And when we cut back in,
fuck out of the Team Rocket.
They're all down.
Yeah,
they're all down, bandaged, knocked out.
Yeah, it's like one of those like Devil May Cry attacks where Dante jumps in the air while he's slashing. Very cool.
So, but Jessie's not done with these guys yet. She aims the missile launcher at Scyther.
And this is where Pikachu gets to
Pikachu's finally gonna come in here, bolts them. Scyther gives them all new haircuts, mohawks this time, and just kind of shaves part of Meowth. And then Team Rocket go running off. They looked great in these hairdos too.
Oh yeah, very punk rock. And I do like how the ultimate state of their hair is even worse.
Yeah,
it's gotten even shorter. Which, like, I'm assuming that next episode their hair's back again, and how?
Yeah, same logic about how they keep avoiding death in all of these perilous situations.
Exactly.
Yeah. But this whole battle sequence was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was like one of the best battles we've seen, I think.
Now, Meowth would have really, based on before, Meowth would have really liked the follow-up, though, where all the Scythers are bathing again.
Yeah, they're all washing the sticky goo. Yeah. And the leader and the Scyther shake blades instead of shaking hands.
Yeah, they cross swords.
Yeah, don't do that.
Phrasing.
Yeah. As a mark of, like, respect, I believe. And the swarm goes off.
Happy, question mark? Yeah, he's found himself.
The swarm heads off. Scyther seems a lot more confident now, and he's ready to go along with Tracy as a proper partner now.
Yeah, Tracy and Scyther are vibing.
So he puts Scyther in the ball, and he's like, all right, it's my turn to do this. I'm going to do this. I caught a Scyther! And Ash is like, nah, that's not how you do that. Let me show you. I stand with my feet shoulder width apart, plant one foot in the ground, get ready to twist. He's starting to do step-by-step instructions on how to do the thing. Misty and Pikachu are both very annoyed by this.
Wow.
I loved that, though. That's so funny when Ash like acknowledges those things that he does like that.
He gets pompous about like things that you think are anime embellishments. And you're like, oh no, this is actually like part of the world.
Yeah. So then, as we're sending it off, the narrator has a nice bit here. I wrote this down. I don't normally write the whole narrator bit down, but I liked this one. Tracey's perseverance and patience finally paid off. He has a new Pokemon and a new friend. Scyther has a new friend too, and a new reason to believe in itself. We can find those same things, but only if we look. I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
And that's
Very
the
nice
episode.
touch. Well, finding your confidence. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
There's gotta be a
literary hour.
million things you can pull for this one. The whole like losing confidence, going to find it by facing your old foe is like a tried and true story beat.
Yeah, the confidence game is a good one. I actually was looking more at a mechanical trope, I guess, and less of like
Sword arms.
Yes, and Edward Scissorhands is my reference. No, the challenging the chief trope. This idea that like a sort of a world building society where the leader is like the most proficient in combat, and then you got to beat him to be the best, and it's sort of like an ongoing cycle of that, and losers get kicked off. I believe in Star Trek, the Klingons have like a ritual kind of similar to this. I don't remember it specifically, but in TNG, I know there's this whole arc where Worf and it goes back to the planet because he's got to like contest to represent something of his father. I guess that's more of like a trial by combat. But for literature, I was thinking about Dune, because like the Fremen tribes have kind of a ritual like this, and Paul Atreides actually doesn't fight one of the leaders because he has said it kind of the foresight through one of his abilities that Stilgar, the leader of that Fremen tribe, should be the leader because that will suit him better. So that's like a subversion of the trope. The real world examples of the trope, we mentioned that this is sort of a thing that comes out of nature. And that probably is the absolute origin having to do with like packs of wolves that are alpha male organized. So where there's like a single breeding male and then several females in the pack. And it would be like there can only be one alpha at a time. So alphas and then betas can join in. But yeah, there would only be one physically strong male. And but males could like fight to be the leader of the pack. TV Tropes is pointing out that like despite its use in fiction, it probably wasn't that common in piracy, although you do see this in a lot of media around pirates. But yeah, Dune was kind of my one that I pulled up. But it's in a lot of fantasy that sort of has that sort of tribal motif. So things like Conan the Barbarian, as well as like some classic fantasy like Dragonlance and R.A. Salvatore and that sort of thing. But you were mentioning the confidence game. Did you have anything in mind about that?
No, but I know that it is a big thing. Like, I know that it's out there a lot. I cannot place one specifically right now.
Well, I already brought up a Viagra commercial, but yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Can't defeat the leader of your tribe?
Scyther!
Feeling a little down?
Scyther!
We got a pill for you, Scyther.
Scyther! All right.
Yeah, you want to rate this sword fest?
First category will be the perceived smell of the episode.
What does a Scyther smell like? Well, we know they have good hygiene.
Yeah, they bathe regularly.
Yeah.
So that's good. They probably smell like the forest. A nice nature smell. You're also in the center.
What do bugs smell like?
I don't know.
I don't sniff bugs.
Yeah, I haven't sniffed a butterfly lately.
No.
We're in the center though. So the center probably smells pretty sterile.
Oh yeah, for sure. The Pokemon Center has that sterile smell. Like the forest would be a nice, like, floral sort of smell, but
earthy. Yeah.
But we're not really exposed to the vegetation that strongly. We're exposed to a lot of bugs, and I'm just like, I'm actually really tripping up. What the fuck do bugs smell like? Why can I not answer that? So I don't know.
That's one of those weird things you never think about. And you think about it one time. You're like, huh.
Bugs
I've never realized this. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad smell though. Like I don't think it's gonna. You're walking into this episode and being like, oh, this fucking reeks.
I don't think they stink. No. I think it just smells like the woods.
But I don't think it's anything like super like vanilla. If something smells like vanilla, that's my 10. I love vanilla.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This is like 6 for me.
Yeah, it's a 6 for me as well. Like it's anything that has kind of a strong forest vibe, it's gonna have a decent smell, right? Like that's just like a I think humans like that kind of smell. That's natural. But other than that, don't know.
Category number 2 will be Tracey's bullshit. That's good. It's a Tracey episode.
But it's a episode that makes Tracey look good. So that's interesting.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of like dumb moments. He doesn't fawn over Nurse Joy.
He doesn't draw her or something weird. Right at the beginning, we pointed out his utter lack of empathy for Misty. that was a Tracey bullshit.
Yeah, that was some bullshit from Tracey.
He was so fixated on the bug situation that he was just being a jerk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there's not really much else.
But once he's
a good one. He's a good one this time.
Yeah, and that is kind of Tracey. I think that he's like an awkward person. I think that his personal worldviews sort of like they're very loud, and they kind of like push other people out of the situation. Like he only cares about his own shit, and isn't that empathetic in some ways? But he's very competent, right? Like when he's doing stuff that's like, okay, he's got a goal. This is a Pokemon related thing. He is very competent.
Yeah, he also joined in on the laughing at Jessie's haircut, which she was very self-conscious about. So that's not very nice, Tracey.
I guess. They all kind of did that, though.
Yeah. 3.5.
2.5.
2.5.
Well, yeah, because it's got to be a quarter of a 10 for me. It's a real moose on the Canadian quarter sort of vibe.
Isn't that a caribou?
Fuck,
for a quarter?
What's the difference between caribou and a moose again?
I don't think that is what you think. A caribou is a reindeer.
Ah.
They're the same thing. Moose are giant and will kill you.
Yes, you were right. Okay. Yeah. Animal on Canadian quarter.
It's a caribou.
It's
I'm like
a caribou.
99% confident.
Yeah, you're right. It's a caribou.
Come on, get your currency animals in order. Jesus Christ, what are your priorities?
Like looking at it more specifically, it's definitely a caribou. It's not a moose at all. Why did I think it was a moose?
I don't know. Anyway, that's 3 for Tracey's bullshit with 6 easy. 4.5 for Tracey Gets Bugged.
There you go.
And that'll do it for this week.
All right.
Thank you for joining us.
To find out what episodes we're reviewing next week, Kellan.
Next week, we're taking a look at 2 more episodes. We're looking at episode... listen to this. We're hitting two milestones next week at the same time. Not only is it the 50th episode of To Kill A Delibird.
Whoa!
We are also looking at episode 100.
Oh my god!
Of the Pokemon anime, A Way Off, Day Off, or in Japanese, this is a good one. It's a southern island! ! Everyone assemble! !
I love when it's like 2 things. I'm 2 sentences in the title. I'm waiting for a Japanese episode title that's 3.
Oh, here's another 2. Here's another 2 for you. Then it's episode 101, The Mandarin Island Mismatch, or in Japanese, Kana of the Big 4! Ice Battle! 2!
Oh, is that the one with the cleavagey thumbnail?
The anime boobs, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, when we started this podcast, I wondered if we would find ourselves discussing anime boobs. And, well, it's been a
50
long
weeks
journey,
later,
folks, but we've done it.
That is next Monday. Join us for that.
Monday. All right. So yeah, TCAT, To Kill A Delibird, comes out every Monday. You can find us on the Hydra Leech YouTube channel. Leave comments there. You can also find us in audio format wherever fine podcasts are downloaded, Spotify, etc. Intro and outro music is 80th Synthwave by Alexi Action. Kellan is posting stuff on TikTok as well. He's got a series on Pokemon anime errors there. And we're on Twitter, also known as X. The handle is To Kill A Delibird. I've been trying out this thing where I post screenshots from the show and then wildly mislabel them. I'm having fun with that. So join us on Twitter if that sounds fun.
2 other things quickly before we go. As a reminder, because we didn't explicitly say it, as a rule from the whatever constitutes a 10 ball, literal cult behavior will now go into the 4-por as a category. If it ever is pulled. If it ever gets pulled and gets 0, it is permanently banned. And other one is... We call that
the circle of 4-por life.
Yes. And the other one is, if you have any questions about the next couple episodes, hit us up in the email or on Twitter. Also, if you have any questions about the next, let's say 10 episodes or something in the Orange Islands, hit us up as soon as you can, because we're going to start doing some bulk recording to get us through the holidays.
That's
Just
it.
a peek behind the curtain there.
Yeah, peek behind the curtain. Send us questions.
Yep. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna go, I don't know, eat pretzels.
I'm gonna go build an effigy to Meowth.
Nice. I wish I could
Praise
do that.
Lord Nearth.
I do not have the room in my apartment for one of those, unfortunately.
That's the real reason you invest in real estate. giant
Meowth
Meowth
effigies.
statues.
Yeah. Just don't let it watch you in the back.
Lewd.